moving on to the Rose Bowl at the second game on Saturday, we have number 9 Alabama Crimson Tide taking on number 1 Indiana Hoosiers, who are undefeated, the only undefeated team left in all of college football, as opposed to Bama, who has 3 losses. Now, Max, this game is probably the one you and I differ on the most, which I'll get into my reasons in a second here. Start this one off with, why is Indiana the top-ranked team? What makes this team so special? How has Mendoza been this good for the Hoosiers this season?
Yeah, honestly, I think what makes them so special is they don't have a weakness. I can't point to anything. Dawn and I did like articles previewing each team, and I remember for the playoff, and I remember like when we get to the biggest weakness section, it was like, I don't even know what to put for this. There's a couple of teams like that where like Indiana and Ohio State, I think, are 2 of them, or no, even Oregon was a hard one too. It was like, man, I don't know what their weakness is. Like they don't really have a glaring weakness right now. Like that's what makes this Indiana team so good, is that like they are one of the best offenses in the country with a Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback, and they have one of the best defenses in the country. Memphis Report, the number 2 defense in PFF grade so far this year. I don't know what the weakness is, and I think that's the big thing for Indiana, is that for almost any other team in the playoff and in college football, you can say, okay, they're good at this, yes, but they could really be exposed in this area where they're not very good at all. For Indiana, I don't know what that is right now. I think that's why they're 13-0. It's why they beat Ohio State. It's why they're the best team in college football right now. I genuinely don't know what the weakness is for Indiana, and not only are they strong everywhere, I mean, they're almost elite everywhere, too, on this team, too. So I think that's the big thing for Indiana, is like there's not just one thing that you could point to and say, oh, wow, they're incredible at that. They are strong all over this roster right now. When you combine that with a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, it's a pretty special team right now.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you said best. They really don't have a weakness when you analyze their team. And you got the Heisman Trophy winner, Mendoza. He is as solid as it gets. He is as efficient as it gets, as accurate as it gets. His NFL receivers, who Omar Cooper, I believe, will be back in this one. Charlie Becker, Surratt, weapons for days on the outside. And also a strong defensive line, who's the only one to get 3 or more sacks on Ohio State on Julian Sayin. They had 5 total sacks in that game. No, I mean, you said best. They are the best overall team in the country. So for me coming into this is one of those games where after all the college football I've watched in my life, to look at Indiana as a 7-point favorite over Alabama, it's wild times we've gotten in 2025. So for me, it's very hard to analyze this game without a little bit of respect towards Alabama, which I would argue they've earned that respect over time. It's one of those, like, until you beat the best, I kind of give it to them. I gave them the nod in the Georgia game, and then, they obviously let me down and bounced back a little bit in the Oklahoma game. But yeah, the reasons why I think this game there could be an upset on the table in this one is – you have the program history. Alabama is the been there, done that. They're not scared of any opponent. I'm not saying IU is scared. We know Kurt Cignetti's not scared of anyone. I will say Alabama has lost a little bit of the luster of putting that fear in their opponents when Saban was on the sidelines. I will admit that. And I do think Ty Simpson is a gamer out there. You got LT Overton coming back. He's their second leading sack leader with 5.5 on the season. Opens up more opportunities for Bama to get home. Their pass rush has not been great. They're going to need that, obviously, against a stout O-line like Indiana and the Heisman Trophy winner in Mendoza. You have a little bit of coaching history here, which I think is funny. You got DeBoer, who came from Indiana when he had Michael Penix, and you have Cignetti, who started out at Alabama as assistant way back in the day. Tell us what this team is lacking compared to previous Alabama teams who have gone further in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think, you would never see this from a Nick Saban coach team, and I'm sure he's not very happy with this right now, but like they can't run the football. And that's something that you never would see at Alabama. For a program that's had Heisman Trophy winning running backs in Derrick Henry and Mark Ingram, you would never expect an Alabama team with or without Nick Saban to not be truly incapable of running the football. That's what Alabama is right now. They cannot run the football. It's not even. I don't think it's worth even talking about for this Indiana game. Like, oh, can they run the ball? Like, no, they're not going to be able to. This game is going to come down to Ty Simpson. It's going to be whether or not he can carry this team against that Indiana defense, because Alabama's been one of the worst teams in the country at running the ball this year, and Indiana's one of the best teams at defending the run this year. There's just no matchup I can point to here and say, oh, Alabama will be able to run the ball. I would be floored. I think this is the biggest mismatch, I think, in the entire quarterfinals, I think, is Indiana's run D against Alabama's run game. So I think that's a big problem for them right now. They've been way too reliant on Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson has been a little bit of a roller coaster this year, too, where, some games he's outstanding. And really, it comes down to, can Ty Simpson handle the blitz and handle the pressure? Some games he's been great at it, like the Oklahoma game in the first round. Some games he's been terrible at it, like the Oklahoma game in the regular season, right? So he's been a little bit of a roller coaster this year too. You mentioned before, Alabama's got no pass rush right now. They need to kind of send a blitz to get pressure on quarterbacks. It's been a little bit better in some games, like the Oklahoma game actually in the playoff. Actually, I was pretty impressed by some guys like Keon Keeley, the former 5-star recruit, making some plays back there, but. Yeah, it's the run game. It's Ty Simpson being a little bit of a roller coaster, and it's the fact that their pass rush has just not been very good at all this year either. Those are the three, I think, glaring weaknesses on this Alabama team right now.
Yeah, definitely on the run game there. I mean, Jam Miller has got to find a way to get something going on the ground, which, like you said, I don't even know if that's possible for him or Daniel Hill to get anything going. I believe they only had 27 rushing yards against Oklahoma, which that you're not going to win the football game against Indiana being that one-dimensional. So Jam Miller's longest rush versus OU was 7 yards. So, they just have to find a way to get something open, which the O-line obviously could be the concern against a defensive line like Indiana's. Stephen Daly being out does help a little bit for Alabama's chances. Obviously, Stephen Daly, one of Indiana's top pass rushers, I believe he had 5 sacks on the season. So there opens up a little bit of an opportunity, but you're exactly right. Ty Simpson is going to have to yet again win this football game for the Crimson Tide. Let's talk about those two quarterbacks now, because like you said, that we had the Heisman winner in Fernando Mendoza, 2 potential first-round picks here. Tell us what you like about each of these two quarterbacks and why they could each be first-round picks.
Mendoza, he's unflappable. I think that's what I've been most impressed by with him. And there's been games where he hasn't played great, right? But there's so many times where you think, you can have him down and out. This kid never gives up, man. And I think that speaks to him as not only as a player, but as a person. And I think that you saw him in his Heisman speech too. He's a tremendous kid. He is unflappable. Literally, he's the toughest kid. I think he's the toughest quarterback in the country right now. I think, you can see the Oregon game where they beat him by 10 on the road at Oregon. They beat Penn State on the road at Penn State where Mendoza had a 75 or 80-yard touchdown drive to win at the very end of the game. The Iowa game where they needed a touchdown, he threw one to Elijah Surratt. The Ohio State game, honestly, when he got clobbered like the first play of the game.
First play of the game.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, it's over. Like, Ohio State's going to win this game now. Comes back in a couple plays later and he has a career-high PFF grade against Ohio State. That's what won him the Heisman Trophy, in my opinion, that game, too. So he's unflappable. I think for Ty Simpson, I think from a clean pocket, he's been deadly. I think when he's under pressure, when teams blitz him a little bit more, it's a little not as great for Ty Simpson. But I think from a clean pocket, he's been really good. He's a very smart quarterback. He's obviously the son of a college football coach right now, too. But I think Ty Simpson, he's a smart guy. He's accurate. He's really good from a clean pocket. He's got good mechanics. Can run a little bit when need to. It's when he's under pressure that you start to see a little more of the cracks with Ty Simpson. But I've been impressed by him, though, this year, too. I'm with you. I think both these guys right now are probably, projected first-round picks in this draft this year.
Yep, I agree. I got them both QB2, QB3. I'm going to give the edge to whoever comes out and wins this game. You got to earn the QB2 by winning this game. Right now, I'd probably have Mendoza slight advantage over Ty Simpson in the draft. He's got the physical tools, 6'5", big arm. Underrated mobility for Mendoza. He picks up a lot of first downs with his legs, which is honestly a huge part of this Indiana offense. We'll need to continue to do that in this game against a good defense like Alabama's. They do have a couple players coming back from injury, which could help. But yeah, no, Ty Simpson is going to have yet again arguably his best game of the season in order to win this for Alabama. 90 PFF grade for Mendoza versus 84 grade to Simpson. All the raw numbers, Mendoza leads in completion percentage, yards per attempt. The only area where I'll give Simpson the edge is drops. His receivers drop the football like none other compared to Mendoza. I believe Mendoza's only had 6 total drops from his wide receiving core all season versus 30 on Alabama. So that is the one area where I do think Simpson is I'm not going to say doing more with less, but doing the same, doing a lot with less compared to Mendoza's supporting cast. So yeah, I'm excited to watch this quarterback battle. I think it's the the best quarterback battle in between game. I'm still giving Dante Moore the best advantage there, but I'm excited to watch that the game within a game here, if you will, and to see who could come out as the higher draft pick on the other side. Give me your score prediction, Max. Let's hear it, and then I'll give you my pick.
Yeah, I had it Indiana 27-17. I had it in this one. I just think Alabama's offense, which is so one-dimensional right now, is going to be incredibly reliant on Ty Simpson, and I think Cignetti knows that, and they're going to be blitzing the hell out of Ty Simpson in this one. I think Simpson's going to do enough to put up 17 points, but honestly, it could be interesting too because Alabama's run D is pretty good, so it could come down to quarterback in this one for Mendoza versus Simpson. I'll side with Mendoza, who's been a little more consistent than Simpson this year. And like I said, I think there's a chance Indiana's got a good ground game in this game. I don't think there's any chance at all that Alabama's got a good ground game at all. So I think I'm going to go with Indiana to win this one 27-17.
That's fair. I think on paper, Indiana has the advantage across the board. I think they are the better football team when you just look at the raw data. I'm a sucker for college football history, Max. I'm a sucker for the old narratives here. I cannot willingly pick Indiana to beat Alabama in a game of football. I just cannot do it. This could be way off here, but I'm going with the Crimson Tide in an upset pick. I think they forced Mendoza into a turnover. I think he hasn't had any multi-turnover games. They may need to make that happen in order to pull this one out. I think they force him into one interception at least. I think they get somewhat of a little bit run game to stay ahead of the chains, to stay out of third and long. And I think they give Ty Simpson just enough protection against this Indiana front to get it done. I think we see a bounce back game from Ryan Williams, who was a non-factor in the Oklahoma game. Something about Ty Simpson, man. I just think he's a gamer out there, and I think he has won big games for Alabama this year. I'm not saying Mendoza hasn't. He obviously won them the Ohio State game, but I just think in a bright lights playoff moment here, the Rose Bowl, Alabama is the team who's been there and done that in football before. I am taking the Crimson Tide to upset Indiana 23-20.
All right, man. I don't hate it. I think you made a good point with the turnovers because Alabama, and Dalton even mentioned this before, Alabama, whenever they need a huge turnover, they always get it, right? So I think that's going to be interesting. Their secondary is outstanding. It's probably the biggest strength of the team, I would argue, right now. Bama's secondary is so freaking good. So
if they can take Indiana's weapons, not out of the game, but if they can manage them, I agree. I think that is where they hold the advantage, honestly, in the secondary. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh, you're good. I mean, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think Bama's secondary, which disguises coverages a lot, too. I think they could. That's a great matchup to watch, too, is Mendoza and how he does against that secondary. So, yeah, they come up with huge turnovers when they need them. We'll see if they can do it again against Indiana. Because I feel like if Alabama's going to win this game, which I think is possible, I think that turnovers will be huge in this one, too.
Yep, gotta have a turnover or two. I definitely think that is the way. That is Bama's only path to winning, and I had him in my bracket, so I'm keeping it, man. We're going with the upset.
Love it.